Top 10 Most Protected African Presidents. We bring you the list of the most protected African presidents. Presidents rule the majority of African countries today. Some are well-known tyrants, while others are well-liked democrats. The truth is based on the region of Africa where there's unrest, and some of the African leaders and presidents have chosen to not want to let go of office, hence this suggests the need to be heavily guided at all times. Top 10 Most Protected African Presidents. I believe that in some cases, we must understand the majority of these presidents, because in an unstable situation such as that which exists in many African countries, security measures are necessary. However, in the context of global poverty and health issues, it is still too much for a single person. We'll be discussing briefly the list of the most protected African presidents. We need to know some of these presidents have held posts longer than usual, which their constitution may have supported. Also, reasons for being heavy armed sometime can be to the fact of their public status and the nature of power they command. 10. Muhammadu Doumbouya, Guinea. Muhammadu Doumbouya led a coup d'état on September 5, 2021 that overthrew the previous president, Alpha Condé. He is a member of the Guinean Special Forces Group and a former French legionnaire. On the day of the coup, Doumbouya issued a broadcast on state television declaring that his faction had dissolved the government and constitution. On October 1, 2021, Doumbouya was sworn in as interim president. As the president of Guinea and owing to his experience as a military officer, he understands a thing or two about security. When he decides to travel by land, he travels not in luxurious kinds of cars. He travels in Humvees by land and choppers by air. Doumbouya shrouded himself in countless bodyguards, though his security entourage may not be so elegant as others on this list. His soldiers are always on high alert battle-wise. Muhammadu Doumbouya is number 10 on this list of most protected African presidents. 9. Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta is the current president of Kenya who was elected to office in 2013. From 2002 to 2013, Uhuru was the Member of Parliament, MP, for Gatundu South. From 2008 to 2013, he was also the Deputy Prime Minister, and became the President of Kenya that same year. Uhuru was re-elected for a second and final term in the August 2017 general elections, winning 54% of the popular vote. The win was formally declared on national television. On September 1, 2017, the court declared the election invalid and ordered a new presidential election to take place within 60 days from the day of the ruling. A new presidential election was held on October 26, which he won, with 39.03% electoral voter participation. Kenyatta rides in an armored Land Cruiser, 10 high-speed motorcycles, 7 high-speed Toyota SUVs, a Mercedes-Benz X-Class, and a Range Rovers. His entourage of bodyguards consists of more than 10 heavy personnel. He is the number 9th person on the list of the most protected African presidents. 8. Paul Biya, Cameroon. Paul Biya is the elected president of Cameroon since November 6, 1982. He is Africa's second longest-serving president, the continent's oldest head of state, and the world's longest-serving non-royal leader. He was re-elected by large margins in 1997, 2004, 2011, and 2018 after winning the contentious 1992 presidential election with 40% of the plural, single ballot vote. On each of these occasions, opposition politicians and Western governments have claimed voting irregularities and fraud. Many independent sources have provided evidence that he did not win the 1992 elections and that subsequent elections were marred by widespread fraud. France, Cameroon's former colonial power, backs his regime by supplying weapons and training its military forces. France is also the most important foreign investor in Cameroon, trailing only the United States. Meanwhile, he has been ruling the country for 40 years. He rides in armored Range Rover Sentinels which cost $500,000. On special occasions, he rides in an armored limousine. Paul Biya's motorcade is one of the toughest in Africa. His convoy includes high-speed Land Cruisers and Mercedes-Benz, and he is specially guarded by a great company of special bodyguards. 7. Paul Kagame, Rwanda. Paul Kagame is a Rwandan politician and former military officer. He is the fourth and current president of Rwanda, having taken office in 2000. Kagame previously commanded the Rwandan Patriotic Front, an Uganda-based rebel force which invaded Rwanda in 1990 and was one of the parties of the conflict during the Rwandan Civil War and the armed force which ended the Rwandan genocide. Generally, he is one of the few respected presidents in Africa, although he has been serving as the leader of Rwanda for over 22 years. Kagame is widely acknowledged by his countrymen as a leader. Paul is also one of the few outspoken African presidents due to his contribution to controversial matters. He had to level his security details, making him of the most protected African presidents. Kagame rides in armored Range Rover Sentinels which cost $500,000. This SUV's features make it impossible to have a direct hit on his car. Paul Kagame's motorcade consists of several security motorcycles, high-speed Mercedes-Benz, Land Cruisers, and many bodyguards flanking around him. He is on our list as one of the most protected African president. 6. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Egypt. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is a retired Egyptian military officer and politician who has served as Egypt's sixth and current president since 2014. Sisi served as Egypt's deputy prime minister from 2013 to 2014, its defense minister from 2012 to 2013, and its director of military intelligence from 2010 to 2012. He retired as a general in the Egyptian military in 2014. The President of Egypt is one of the most protected African presidents. He actually rules the country himself and leaves no room for errors when it comes to his security. Also, his presidential car is a Mercedes S-Class with a special black number plate. With the fact that his country has one of the best armed forces on the continent is enough to guarantee him. When in public, Abdel Fattah is accompanied by more than 10 specially trained bodyguards. His motorcade consists of several security motorcycles, high-speed armored Mercedes-Benz, Land Cruisers, and many special forces personnel. 5. Cyril Ramaphosa, South African. Cyril Ramaphosa is a South African businessman and politician who, since 2018, has served as the fifth democratically elected president of South Africa, as well as president of the Ramaphosa. Served as Secretary General to the ANC President Nelson Mandela, Deputy President to President Jacob Zuma, and Chairman of the National Planning Commission. He is on our list as one of the most protected African president. Unlike other presidents, Ramaphosa prefers crossovers to sit-down or SUVs. He uses specially custom-made BMW with special display riders and heavy motorcade. 4. Emmerson Mnangagwa, Zimbabwe. Emmerson Mnangagwa is a Zimbabwean revolutionary and politician who has been the country's president since November 24, 2017. He was a ZANU-PF member and longtime ally of former President Robert Mugabe, holding a number of cabinet portfolios and serving as Mugabe's vice president until November 2017, when he was dismissed before taking power in a coup. In the contentious 2018 general election, he won his first full term as president. Because of the unrest in the political scene of Zimbabwe, the need for the president to be heavily guarded becomes a topmost priority. Heavy security surrounds the president, especially when he is on official duties in or outside the country. Also, security personnel includes high-speed motorcycles, armored Mercedes-Benz, Land Cruisers, and many special forces personnel. The president himself rides in armored limousine accompanied with many armed bodyguard. He is on our list as one of the most protected African presidents. 3. Alassane Ouattara, Ivory Coast. Since 2010, he has served as president of the Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire. He currently ranks as one of the most protected African president. Ouattara is always accompanied by heavy security guards whenever he goes in or out of the country. Ouattara's car is heavily supported by heavily armored personnel, and presidential guards who follow his vehicle on foot until he gets out of reach of the public. He is on our list as one of the most protected African presidents. 2. Mohammed VI of Morocco, Morocco. Mohammed Morocco's king is a member of the Ulayyi dynasty and ascended to the throne on July 23, 1999, following the death of his father, King Hassan II. He has extensive business holdings in several Moroccan economic sectors. His net worth has been estimated to be between $2.1 billion and over $8.2 billion, and he was the richest king in Africa and the fifth wealthiest monarch in the world, according to the American business magazine Forbes. 1. Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria, most protected African president. He is a retired Nigerian Army Major General who served as the country's military head of state from December 31, 1983 to August 27, 1985. Following a military coup, Buhari ran for Nigerian president 3 times, in 2003, 2007, and 2011. He defeated incumbent President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in the election. It was the first time in Nigerian history that an incumbent president lost a general election. On May 29, 2015, he was sworn in. Buhari was re-elected in February 2019, defeating his closest rival, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, by over 3 million votes. Muhammadu Buhari is the president of the most populous African nation. His safety is the country's topmost priority. His convoy consists of many motorcades, which is the largest and most impressive in the continent. President Buhari's is almost impossible to penetrate. The security comprises of high-speed security motorcade and special security guard. The Nigeria president is the number 1 on the list of the most protected African presidents. In addition, he has held the position as chairman of ECOWAS,